Hello everybody, I hope you're doing good today. This video contains tyranny being used underneath the Fair Use Act for educational purposes. If you haven't seen my video yesterday on Rick Hummer, go see it, because in this clip I'm about to play, he admits he's a journalist. This is just 3 days before the Canadian Flat Earth Conference, just last week. Alright, so this is in North Liberty, Indiana, where Rick lives. They had a town meeting. They wanted to get a couple guys kicked out, so Rick Hummer, along with the cops, entrapped them to get kicked out. Okay? That's all this is. Tyranny dished out by Rick Hummer. 3 days before he tries to convince us that he isn't part of this beast system. Okay? So, let's listen to this, because this is just good old boy Masonic activity taking place here. And Rick is obviously a high-ranking Mason who has the cops under his thumbs. You will see that in this video.
Taxes in the city limit.
What are you doing going to the housing authority?
The city limit.
It's a public building. Get that through your
Imagine that. You can't go to the housing authority unless you have permission from Rick Hummer.
head. It's a public building.
It's not about the money. It's about...
It's a public building, sir. You rent...
Hey, you know what?
Excuse
I hope
me, he
everybody
rents
goes
it.
shopping at Walmart with a ski mask on and a 360 camera and calls the cops before
Sir,
they
it's not
show up.
illegal.
Now, the guy filming this, you know, he's one of those guys that go around and like to test cops. Hey, more power to him. If that's your thing, that's your thing. We all are trying to fight this tyranny on our own ways. Tyranny from Rick Hummer. Okay? So, let's keep going here, and you're going to see this camera right here? You're going to see it later in Rick Hummer's hands.
Sir, it's not illegal.
Oh, gosh, dude. It's called entrapment. Use common sense.
They don't
Use
have
your head.
entrapment for civil procedures.
It doesn't matter.
It does
It's
matter.
the principle of the matter.
Your
Watch this
police
guy
were
in
going to
the red
violate
shirt.
our rights regardless.
No, you
They
keep
were
looking for
too.
trouble.
You've been violated plenty of times.
We're
trust
coming
me.
90
here
some
to
times,
see if our
Arrested 90
rights
times.
were
Arrested 90
were going
times.
to be respected. They just
Arrested
violated my rights again.
Your rights haven't been violated.
And this is just straight up Masonic brothers sticking up for each other, bullying, people who are tired of the bullshit that this guy clearly is in his own way. You may find it strange, but hey, he's got his own right to fight this tyranny in his own way. I mean, this kind of thing is taking place around the world. All right? A few minutes later, Rick admits he's a journalist. All right. So let's keep going here. Remember, they wanted to kick that guy out that was filming Rick, and this guy filming this. They were both in the city council meeting, from all appearances, not causing any problems. But this is Rick Hummer right here, and this is that camera you seen the person in the doorway holding. Now let's watch as we roll this. Now you see Rick, he all of a sudden in a hurry goes back and grabs that camera. Right there on that table, that tripod camera. Let's watch. Let's watch Mr. Tyranny. Hey, he's just agitating the guy. This is the guy you seen filming in the first clip, Rick Hummer in the first clip. His name's, he got the channel name, what is his channel name? Swine Repellent. That's his name, Swine Repellent, his channel name. And the guy filming this is called Noman Nesco. Alright, now you could clearly see Rick Hummer is trying to agitate this guy, and the cops are standing there, and they're all in on it. You will see this. Because Rick Hummer is taking his camera and setting it over on the table where the cops are, two other cops are sitting, and pointing it right at this guy. And remember, these two have a long history and they don't like each other, so watch what Rick Hummer's about to do. And this guy knows something's up. And he's filming. Rick Hummer's over there getting the instructions from the cops, and watch what Rick Hummer does. He's got no reason to do this. None whatsoever, other than he's trying to agitate the guy and get him kicked out with working with the cops.
Mr. Stone. Mr. Stone. Mr. Stone.
You're on my arm. Get off my arm, please.
Hey, Kyle.
Time to go.
Kyle.
Time to go.
Now, these guys claim right before all this started filming that Rick Hummer was up there humiliating this guy that they're now dragging out, and that he was clearly trying to agitate on purpose. I mean, this is the kind of shit that takes place around the world at every city council meeting. It's just nothing more than government tyranny, and Rick Hummer is dishing it out. And they just drag his ass out. Don't even give him a chance to get up. This is just good old boy Masonic bullshit. This guy's a Mason, you know it.
We're dismissed, buddy.
Fucking looks like he's on steroids too.
How you like that? Hey, it's my other buddy.
A lot of cops are on steroids.
They never asked me to leave.
You were just asked.
By who?
By me.
By you? Alright, well, let me get my papers and I'll leave, okay?
And look at this guy, did nothing wrong and he's being thrown out too because, you know, can't have people who want liberty and justice in a city council meeting. So there you go, Rick Hummer dishing out government tyranny on people who are asking for a fair shake from their city council. And mind you, 3 days later, he's at the Flat Earth International Conference trying to pass himself off as one of us. All right, now that was from the view of the second guy they kicked out. Let's look at this from Swine Repellent. Remember, I said he had a camera and he was filming Rick because he knew Rick was up to no good. Let's check out Rick here and watch, because Rick clearly looks over at the cops and says, hey, come get this guy.
Okay, community building loan.
Yeah, so it just continues, folks, at Harasses, what they do down here.
That's what he's doing. He's clearly harassing the guy. Apparently, before all this, he was up there in front of everybody humiliating this guy.
To harass people. Yep, that guy's a governmental agent, by the way. CIA. Boom, CIA.
You know, when he says CIA, he isn't very far off. You know, these guys are paid from printed money from the Federal Reserve. That's why you no longer see these articles where cities are laying off cops and stuff like that, because they're all bailed out by feds. That's how come they're making $200,000 a year now, because the feds bought off all police departments. They run it. You know, so when he says CIA, he's probably accurate. Let's watch.
So obviously you want to cause a problem there, buddy.
You can clearly see he's pushing against the guy's arm.
So you need to get out of my personal space. You need to leave, sir. I want to see. Yeah, you need.
Now, why wasn't Rick Hummer the one dragged out? You see telling him to have a seat like he's some authoritarian. He was already he was sitting the whole time.
You need to leave before we have problems. You're on my arm, so get off my arm, please. Yeah, you need to.
Now he's looking over the cops. You see hey, come get this guy. Here comes the cops. Like I said, Rick Hummer's got them under his thumb, and he's obviously a high-ranking Mason.
Leave, sir.
Time to go.
Carl.
Time to go. You follow directions. Out you go.
So they just grabbed the guy, and like I say, drag him out. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Rick Hummer dishing out government tyranny 3 days before he tries to pass himself off as one of us. Wake the fuck up, you sheep.